So, in case no one knows what's happening today, today is my third episode of Ash Asks, where I ask a lovely other content creator to do a little interview. Not this one. We don't talk to her. Do a little kind of like interview. I call it an interview because I don't like to surprise anyone. I don't like to people to go, oh no, what am I going to get asked? Am I going to get asked all these maths questions that I'm not going to know all the answers to? That's not how it goes. The reason why I call it an interview is so that everyone knows all the questions that are going to be asked, and we're more here to talk about the subjects that we're interested in and to sort of enlighten other people and tell everyone about the stuff that we're passionate about. So, am I interviewing Beyonce? Yes, I am. This is Beyonce. Have you seen her singing? It's amazing. You don't see singing, you hear singing. But anyway. So just as sort of a little start out, did you want to tell everyone who doesn't know you, which is unlikely to be anyone in here, who you are and sort of what you kind of do?
So I am Nay. I make educational animal content, but I also do really chaotic live streams, apparently.
They're so much fun. Honestly, they're so fun. I love going in your live streams. They're fabulous. And we sort of we advocate for animals a lot in your lives, in your Discord, in lots of stuff that you're doing. And you run, or you're part of, Educate Don't Berate. Is that right?
I put together Team Educate.
You put together it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very much about sort of spreading an understanding about animals and not telling people that they're doing it wrong, but teaching them how to do it right. Is that makes sense? And yeah, so I ever since I sort of came across your channel through our mutual friends and stuff like that, I was like, yes, this is it. I love this because being a vegetarian myself. I've always had sort of a love for animals anyway, so finding out more about and understanding more, and I learn in every single one of Nay's lives. Every single one of Nay's lives, I'm learning something new. The hope for today is that we're gonna put Nay to the test, guys, all right? Because I have at the end of, so if you're not aware, in a couple of Nay's lives, what she does is she does stuff like guess the animal's name. So she puts the name up on screen and you guys have to guess in the chat what it is. She also does hangman lives. So she puts up the letters of the animal on the board and you guys have to guess it. Today I've put Ash describes animal, Nay guesses animal. As a one bonus at the end to see if I can put you to the test. But if she doesn't know it, we're going to put it down to my bad describing skills, not Nay's guessing skills. However, at the end of the little chat that I've got sort of prepared, that Nay has seen the question, so she's not been put on the spot or anything like that. I don't like to put people on the spot. We will open the board to any sensible questions as well that Nay might want to answer. Obviously, we both have the right to not answer questions. And if anyone at any point feels uncomfortable with answering questions, we will outrightly say that. If that's fair to you, Nay, is that all good? Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I was going to start off with the first things I always wanted to ask you about is insects. So if anyone doesn't like talking about insects now, you might want to tune out for 5 seconds. But no, it's because I'm an insect convert, if that makes sense. I grew up in a way that I was terrified of bugs, and I'm now learning to not be. So I just sort of wondered if what sort of basic welfare needs must be met to sort of ethically keep insects in captivity, like habitat conditions, food and space and stuff like that.
So it really depends on the species that you're keeping. Obviously mantises, spiders, they're kind of my main thing. I can give you an example of mantises because that's the one I'm the most familiar with. Mantises, you need to make sure that all insects, you need to make sure that you're allowing them to exhibit all of their natural behaviours. And I'd go as far as saying that applies to all animals. So with praying mantises, you want to make sure they have enough space to be climbing, to hang and mold. You need to just provide the best thing that you can of their wild habitat. You need to think about things like temperature and humidity for the species that you're keeping. You should make sure that their diet is very nutritional, so you give your chickens something called gut loading. So it's up to 48 hours before you feed your insects. You need to feed the feeder insects, so they
That's
have.
really interesting, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got notes here.
No, it is good. We love notes. I've got notes too. It's fine.
So adequate ventilation is really important. For a lot of insect species, you want something means cross ventilation, so you need ventilation through the top and the front, so there's good circulation. I mean, you wouldn't want to sit in a room with stagnant air, never ending. What else have I got? Handling is a really tricky one. There's risk and tolerance needs to be taken into account. So some species will tolerate handling better. So giant Asian mantises are generally quite a hardy mantis species for handling. Most beetles are generally quite hardy for handling. And this is a bit of a controversial topic.
We love them.
Tarantulas, I personally don't recommend handling.
That's interesting.
They've got these big, I don't know what the right word is, voluptuous behinds. And they're very fragile, and they can fall, even if they fall like a really small distance like this, that abdomen can burst, which will unalive them. So for a flighty tarantula species, one that's going to bolt up your arm or whatever, it's not worth handling at all. I don't handle any tarantulas personally, but if you really want to handle them, make sure it's not a flighty species, because they're really prone to injury if they fall. That's pretty much it, unless you're incredibly lucky.
Well, I mean, that's always been one of my sort of things, because as I've explained, like I'm not really a massive fan of insects in a sense that I don't want them on me. That's been my only rule. But I'm so interested in them because I love to see them and I love to experience how beautiful they are. You're, forgive me if I'm wrong, your tarantula?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Yeah. Sorry. But she's gorgeous. Like, she's absolutely gorgeous. And I would sit and watch her like day in, day out, but I knew that if she would be on me, I would freak out, and that wouldn't be fair on the tarantula. So yeah, I think it's really important to educate people into, you know, how is appropriate to look after them and stuff. And I think also, because you see those ones at like zoos where people get out tarantulas and put them on people and stuff, and I'm just like, what if someone flips out? Like, what happens then?
It's that fight or flight response. Some people, you don't know if they're gonna go ooh, you know, and like,
yeah,
stressful for the person, but it's also risky for the animal.
Absolutely.
So, anyone super nerdy watches this. Tarantulas are not insects, but I group them together because there's a lot of similarities between tarantulas and insects like mantises.
Hi, Tammy. No, they're arachnids, aren't they? They're not insects. Yeah, it's again, every day for me is a learning day. So the more you teach me, I'm like a sponge. I will absorb it all. I'm here for it.
Easy way to rule out whether it's an insect or not. There's quite a few things that come into it, but one of the obvious ones is all insects have 6 legs.
All right.
So if it has more than 6 legs, like a tarantula, it's not an insect, but it is still an invertebrate, which covers, you know, tarantulas and mantises and beetles, yada yada.
Well, if any of my questions I have written the wrong words, please do correct me, and I will not be offended by it, because again, every day is a learning day, and that's a good thing I think about Educate, Don't Berate. And when you mentioned it to me for the first time, I was like, yes, that is it, because we want to help people, we want to build them up, but we don't want to berate them. We don't want to put them down and make them want to not have animals. We want to show them the right way, or the best way, or a better way to have the animals that they already have. So no, I think it's a way. It's one of the best sayings I've ever heard, for sure, especially in this sort of kind of environment. this is a question that I was always really curious about, and I don't know if you know the answer or if not, but um, do insects and experience like pain and stress in the same way that like humans do? I mean, I don't know if you can say the same way that humans do, but like in the same kind of like they feel pain and they feel stressed out and stuff.
Stress for sure. I wouldn't say that stress or pain is like a human. It's kind of it's out of. There's a word I learned quite recently called umwelt, which is like an animal's or being's perception of their world based on their own sensory abilities.
All right, yeah.
I think we can't perceive other animals' umwelts very well, particularly insects. So it's hard to say how similar or different it is from humans' experience. But there is emerging research that has shown that bees, roaches, ants, fruit flies experience some version of pain. It's not necessarily the same as ours, but it is pain, it is suffering that they can experience. There's stress is sorry, my brain went a bit blank there.
It's all good. It's all good.
Stress is something that animals definitely, insects definitely display. Mantises are a really obvious one. So a mantis is a pretty universal thing. If a mantis is stressed, it will make itself look really big, kind of stick its arms up in the air, look really wide. Some species will like kind of do like this motion to try and make themselves look quite threatening, quite large. There are some species that have bright colors under their raptors, which are like their arms, but like the underside of their arms, brightly patterned wings they'll flash. You've got things like, I'm trying to think of a way of phrasing this so you don't get enamored. Unaliving, feigning beetles. They will unalive feign, which is quite an obvious stress signal. A lot of other insects do it as well. I had a Peruvian leaf mantis that would be absolutely fine, super chill, and then all of a sudden would like pancake itself in my hand, and I'd let you.
I'd be terrified. I'd be terrified. I'd be so scared. I think one of the things that I think that I would always be concerned about for myself as owning an insect or an invertebrate would be losing it as well, because it's such a small little, like, you know, you have a cat and the cat is there and it's difficult to lose a cat. I know that you have a cat and a dog as well, so I understand. Well, it's more difficult to lose them, but if you have a tiny little sort of thing that just fits on like your finger like at the end, like how do you deal with like scaring losing them, sorry.
So obviously, first of all, you want to make sure the enclosures are really secure. It depends on the type of insect or invertebrate as to what enclosure is best and how you can kind of make that more secure. But that just making sure that enclosure is pretty escape-proof. Big rule. Making sure the enclosure is always shut. Like I've got a lot of these twist lock mechanisms that if I always, before I leave the house or anything, I run around the flat and make sure they're all pointing upwards so there's no escaping there. Like any other animal, it's about observing body language quite a lot. You might not think that you can see body language, and you can't in all species, to be quite honest with you. But again, I'm going to go back to mantises because it's like my special interest. Mantises is a really obvious one. Mantises, you can read their body language and their behaviours quite obviously, in my opinion. Although I have had my fair share of incidents, so I had a Tammy just said you'd be surprised it's a sheep.
It made me laugh as well.
But I've had my fair share of experiences. I had a male orchid mantis called Fish, and oh boy, was that an incident. I had my sister around visiting one time. I opened the enclosure, and very out of character for this mantis, it just went, whoop, see ya, like a little pink fairy flying off into the distance.
I bet it was so pretty, though.
So pretty. It honestly, like, I'm there, like, eyes watering at how beautiful this moment is, but also, like,
so gorgeous, no!
Me, my sister, and Kyle, who's my husband, for anyone who might not know, so we're looking for this mantis for ages, and it turned out after pulling the entire flat apart, which I was like a drill sergeant. I was like, be very gentle, this is a very fragile mantis. Like, we're all just like... and it turned out that Fish was in, so we had like one of those rail wardrobes with the like hanging, you hang the clothes up on the rail, and fish was in the middle of the clothes hung up inside a t-shirt, uh, which was chaos. As
I
you can
can
imagine,
imagine.
it happens. I've never had a permanent loss. I've always managed to, retrieve my inverts. But there have been a few moments for sure. It's the male mantises I've had the worst luck with.
Oh, them boys.
Yeah, yeah. Females don't tend to fly like they can, but they only do so under extreme stress. The boys, on the other hand, they're like, find me a lady now.
Let's go.
So they're like, I'm off out into the world to find me a woman.
I love it. Do you have sort of like 4 absolute no's when keeping invertebrates? Or it doesn't have to be 4. It can be as
Yeah,
many or little as you like.
okay, so it's really difficult to answer without being species specific because invertebrates is quite a broad range. So it can be everything from millipedes to mantises to crabs to jellyfish.
And there's different rules for each, so
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to go into it without being very species specific.
well,
but
you could choose a species if you want. Like if you wanted to go for mantises or tarantulas or
well, I
whatever.
did manage to make some notes for some like kind of
Yeah.
generalistic advice. So
Awesome.
number one, don't ever disturb the molt process. During molting, any invertebrates during the molting process are extremely vulnerable. You disturb that process and their exoskeleton hardens in the wrong way, or they're not quick enough to get out, or they're, this is a bit anthropomorphism, but they lose their mojo or whatever. That's it for them. A bad molt is can be life or unlife. Living TikTok. So no cross contamination, which applies to most animals. To be honest, you want to make sure you're quarantining adequately. Minimum of 2 weeks quarantine of any new additions to your invertebrate or other animal family. The longer the better, but 2 weeks minimum for sure. Don't keep solitary species with others. There are communal mantis species, but most mantis species, you put them together, they're going to try and eat each other. Which
Especially within different genders, right?
With mantises, it's not really gender specific. Like I think what you're getting from that is the whole thing about when mantises mate, the female will often.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm making my facts up.
No, it's fine. But like it's basically so during the breeding process with a male and female mantis, you have to. A lot of people make like a physical barrier behind the mantis's head because they can see that behind them.
Oh right.
So they'll put like a physical barrier of some kind, whether that be a paintbrush, a little bit of plastic or something, just to hide the male from their view. They'll distract them with a big meal. They will feed them massively beforehand, so they're not extra hungry, not feeling extra peckish, and remove that male as soon as the deed has been done. Because basically, the female in the wild will eat the male because they need that extra nutrition to make the eggs. All that hefty stuff that their body goes through during creating the egg sacs, which are called oothekas. Another 2 things I wrote down: you don't want pesticide exposure, so any exposure to chemicals and pesticides, just anything like that.
And that goes for like deodorant and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are a no candles, no aerosols household. We don't have anything like that. Cleaning products in our house, if we have to use an aerosol, it's like go outside, go into the bathroom, spray directly onto the cleaning cloth and have it very well ventilated.
Yeah.
A big one, which I don't see so often in the UK, but in some other countries I see it more often, is people feeding wild caught feeder insects, which is really dangerous to them because they can have parasites and all sorts that you just can't possibly know about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, don't disturb the molt process, quarantine adequately, don't keep solitary species with others. No wild caught feeders. I guess I gave you an extra one. No pesticide exposure.
Hey, we love that. We love that. We love more. But I also sort of mentioned in the chat, and I was going to mention it as well, that not disturbing the molting process also ventures into reptiles as well, right? Because I have seen And like, excuse me if this is gonna, like, I hope this doesn't upset anyone, but it upsets me every time I see it, so I'm just gonna briefly mention it. But people feel the need to blow a straw into a gecko's molting process to make it look like it blows up. Now, okay, the first time I saw it, I did chuckle a little bit because it does look funny. I get it, it looks funny, and we all get it. But then the second after that, I was like, that was like on it, and you're pushing it, and oh no. And like straight after, I was like, that is horrific, like it's horrible.
Yeah,
And I just I don't know, sometimes I'm not going to get too far into this because I will be ranting for a while. But I don't know how some people can find funny videos more interesting than their own animals' welfare. It just doesn't. It's peculiar to me. I don't understand it at all.
it's a big thing in the like exotic pet community. This kind of like almost battle between people who are like very ethical in their keeping and people that are very much using extreme circumstances to go viral. And it's really sad because things like blowing a leopard gecko's shed up with a straw, it will go viral because it looks a bit silly, as you said, but it can cause so much damage to their scales. And it's always these videos, it's always the entire shed. It's never like a bit of stuck shed. And if it were a bit of stuck shed, you wouldn't be blowing air through a straw. No. You do a soak. You put, like paper towels and.
Or like I think Catty said, just like gently rubbing it if like it's a necessity and it's stuck or something.
That sort
of stuff. Not like just gently.
That straw thing, like I've seen it so much, and it just it hurts my heart.
And I kid you not, guys. Please don't like cancel me in the chat, right? I felt so bad for laughing the first time, but it is kind of amusing to see. But then you just have to go, what in like no. Just no. Like there's loads of things that are like that all over the internet that you see like ha, and then you're like, wait a second. No.
The people that like those videos, the people that engage with them, most of those people are not advanced because how could they know better? But if you own that animal, you would hope you've done extensive research into that species for their welfare.
Know better, yeah.
And therefore you should know better.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was so this is kind of the last question at the moment for invertebrates or that sort of subject. I just sort of wondered what your opinions and understanding were of like how and why sort of people develop the fears of, obviously spiders is a big one. But, a lot of people develop fears of many different invertebrates. And I just wondered what you sort of, what your experiences were, or what your understanding of that was.
I think it comes down to a lot of things. So first of all, there's taught fear from childhood. Like if you, like for example, my mum, terrified of spiders. So growing up, if there was a spider in the house, my mum would scream the house down, which love her. But it definitely passed a fear on to me because as soon as I saw a spider, it was, oh my gosh, like,
yeah, for sure.
Because that's ingrained into me. I guess it still is to an extent because unless I can identify and, remind myself of things I know about that species, but if a surprise spider shows up in my house, I might still freak. I won't harm it, but for a split second before I realize and process and think about it, I'm like, oh gosh, there's a spider. So there's, taught fear from childhood.
Absolutely, yeah.
Being a big component. Movies, big contributor, especially when it comes to spiders. Media and movies, fear-mongering.
Absolutely, 100%.
There's lots of things of spiders coming out of mouths and all sorts of just imagery.
Yeah,
but the likelihood of not happening, so small.
Yeah, Spider-Man's terrifying.
There's this myth about how many spiders you eat in your sleep or whatever, which, by the way, completely false.
Rubbish.
Complete nonsense. But it's spread around so much, and the problem with social media is it's like a big echo chamber, so that can just keep getting ping-ponged about, and I'd be happy with Spider-Man.
No, I completely agree, because I think for me it's been, and not you've been a big part of this journey of mine, because I was, please don't come for me, guys, but I was a spider unaliver. And don't hate on me, guys. I was. Because I was terrified of them, and I was taught that they were horrible and that they were scary and that we shouldn't like them and yada, 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 yada. But I, the problem with me is I've always been incredibly compassionate against like ants, like any kind of like animal to the smallest amount, but the fear for me was too strong. Like I couldn't get past it, you know. And sort of thank you, Kate. But I sort of, as I sort of learn more about how people like yourself have not just a love for these tiny animals, but also keep them as beloved pets. And it's not just it's past fear at that point. You've taught yourself to not be scared when you see these animals, and to the point now that you're not when you see your own, obviously.
It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
It's and it's a no, please carry on.
I had leaf insects during the pandemic, and I had a really horrible time during that time. I wouldn't leave the house or anything. And I truly would say that insects saved my life at that time, because I just, was not in a good way. These leaf bugs, I didn't know when I first got them because I didn't adequately research. But I ended up with males, which fly. And they had their final molt and became flyers. And the first time they flew, I screamed and legged it out of the room and went, "Oh my God, Kyle, can you fix it?" And just freaked out. And it's been a process of really like confronting that fear and building positive experiences with them. At that time, it was like, remember, you've loved these insects for quite a long time now. They're still the same insects. They just have wings now. But it wasn't.
I think it's a natural fear to when you have something flying at your face, whatever it is, to go, "Ah!"
I still flying in my face.
I still get it with butterflies, and butterflies for me, I don't find scary. Again, I'm not really sure I want them on me, but I don't find them scary. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and I think it's really, really important to sort of again advocate that it's okay to be scared of these animals, and it's okay to have been at a point where you did unfortunately harm them from your own fear. As long as you can try and get on the path of understanding them better and trying to combat your own fear, I guess, because I feel like the more people that did that, the less stigma there would be about how terrifying they are. And I mean, you catch me with a millipede now and I'm running for the hills. I can't, like, it's not happening. It's got far too many legs. I can't do it. But I'm getting there with spiders. We're by no stretch of the imagination clear yet, but we're getting there. We're much better. So yeah, no, I do think it is some part taught, some part, like you said, media. And
it's traumatic experiences as well. Like it could be something simple, like, I don't know, when you were 6 years old, your cousin Andrew chased you around the garden with a house spider. I don't know.
Andrew. For goodness sake, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew.
Is that anyone in the chat called Andrew? They're like, no, it wasn't me.
There's an Andrew in Team EDB. I'm sorry, Andrew.
It wasn't him, don't worry.
No.
So we're going to take a little flip from talking about invertebrates and stuff, guys. Yeah, it was Andrew Garfield. Just because, obviously, again, it can be quite a hard subject for people to talk about or hear about when they, aren't truly on that path yet. And it is difficult. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you any pictures of any spiders or anything. Don't worry about that. But it can be quite a hardcore subject to talk about when it's something that you're not quite there yet. But so I thought I would pop on to another sort of segue subject of so both me and Nay run our own discords, and I have taken so many pointers from Nay, and so many. I've gone, how does this work? I don't understand it. And no one does. And honestly, if you're not in Nay's Discord at the moment, sort it out because you should be. And but it's a fantastic place. And I just sort of wanted to sort of ask a couple of questions to you about how you find sort of social media and sort of being in the space that you are with sort of the people that you're surrounded by, kind of thing. And I just sort of wondered, like, what have you found like the best way is to sort of attract the people into either your lives or your videos, or to keep people watching? Like, have you found any sort of like tips or tricks that sort of work for you?
Acknowledge everyone being a big one. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to connect with you.
It's so hard not to listen to the chat right now. Like, I'm literally like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not my live stream. We're not reading the chat too much. I am looking. I am reading them, by the way.
We both are.
But acknowledging everyone, showing your appreciation, like building a true connection. Because if not for connection, what is social media here for? I think that's one of the most important things. Welcoming anyone who's new, making sure, again, they feel like a part of your space. Keeping energy high, positive, upbeat, kind of, you know, keeping negativity to a minimum, which is being a bit of a hot topic as of late.
Absolutely, yeah.
Taking the time to just get to know people and being truly passionate about what it is that you do.
Absolutely. No, I think they're really, really important points, because the thing is, once there's a screen between you and effectively an audience, I don't see the people in our chats as audience, I see them as friends. But if you want to talk about it as a literal sort of sense, putting a screen between a person and an audience can either give one end or the other end more confidence than they need. So you have like, you get people like trolls, obviously, who have relative amounts of confidence that we wish they didn't, and or you get some live streamers who just think that they can just do whatever on a live, you know, and that's fine as well.
Big enough but some can.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I think it is really important that if you want to build meaningful connections with people, which again, like you said, is what social media is about, then. And also, I mean, for me, I just found this app has helped me make friends. Like, as an adult, it's so hard to do that.
Oh, yes. And especially someone like yourself, like, I've got lots of health issues. I am in the house all the time. I can't work a normal job because of my health issues. And also, being someone who is into bugs, most people look at me and think, what an absolute weirdo. And it allowed me to, like, find my people fun.
Absolutely. 100%. And I think that really is it. It's like the main thing, as very much as you said, I'm really just reiterating what you said, is don't treat the audience like an audience. Treat them like your friends, because in the end, the people who mind don't matter and the people who matter don't mind. Is that the thing?
Yeah. I love that.
Because the people who keep coming back, they become your friends. And the people who sort of like, this isn't for me, they move on, and that's fine, because not everything is for everyone, and that's absolutely fine. That's the beauty of this app. But I would never have met Nay if it hadn't been for our mutual Colin. I would have never met Colin if it hadn't been for his parrots. You know, it's
his friends are from the internet, and like
absolutely.
Person went to the zoo with you, and like that's formed a real input. Well, not like it's not real on the internet, but an in-person connection as well.
Absolutely. And I think especially nowadays, building those friendships via online, it has become more normal. It's become more acceptable. But I will say, just because I have to be the person to say this, because my like inner, I don't know, parent is coming out, that if you are meeting up with people online, please do it in a safe space. Please do it with people who are surrounding you, and please do it with people that you already trust. And also always have a way out, because if Nay had been a crazy person, more crazy than we already know she is, then, you know, I could have been in trouble. But luckily I had my husband there and it was fine and it was all good. And she had her husband there and they got on and flirted with each other and it was fine. Anyway.
And I've already met Colin as well, who obviously is a mutual friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've met a lot of people that watch my live streams at invert shows, and I imagine you do the same with like Comic Cons and things.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Big events
100%.
are quite a good option, I think.
Yeah, and events like that feel like that little bit more safer because you have hundreds of people around you that are all sort of sensible to an extent or know exactly sort of what's going on, kind of thing. Sort of going on one of the things you just sort of briefly touched on, that being sort of positive is really important on a live, and I think that is something that I generally try to keep up with, and I know you do as well, because I feel like it can be very easy to come into a live and tell them everything on your mind because they've got no sort of there's nothing stopping us from giving us a sort of straight up reaction. So I just sort of wondered what's like a little ways that you keep that positive atmosphere whilst you're on a live and sort of but still whilst being inclusive to everyone in a stream, kind of thing.
Model the kind of behaviour that you want to see. I know it sounds really simple, it's something that you want to kind of do in real life, but if you're a horrible person, you can't expect your chat not to be full of horrible people because you're going to attract that. If someone's being really negative in your live stream as well, I think it's important to kind of like shut that down, like not in a way that they don't feel heard, but in a way that's like, you know, kind, but lets them know that you don't want that kind of negativity in that space, because it's not just about you, it's about safeguarding everyone in that space as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%. What else have I got? Be your authentic self. I think that's a really important thing. If you're hiding behind something, it's going to be seen right through, and you're going to attract people that see right through.
Absolutely. If you can't come onto a live and expect there to be negativity that you can fight through or go up against, then in my opinion you shouldn't be going on the live, because it's to protect your own mental health. It's to protect the mental health of others as well, because I often find, and I know that you've probably experienced this, that once one negative thing happens and you can't fight back against it, it just goes downhill. Yeah. Spirals.
I did some time. I've been doing live streams for a few years now, and I'm still improving in that area. I've had to learn that if I am not in a good mental space and I don't have that positive energy, to just not come on at that time, because it can. I don't think people realise, like, a little split moment in a live stream of just this one quick negative comment can lead, like, just to that person that said it. It can be there's some people that have joined, but often I'll come off live and that will stick with me, and it could be sticking with so many other people you don't realise.
100%. I think one of the main things that I've always said in my lives is no triggering subjects to be said in the live, and no direct insults of anyone who's in my chat. If you insult them, you're gone. I don't care who you are, because all it takes is one thing, and depending on your mindset, it can be shut up, mute kind of thing, you know, and that could be it. But in other days, it could be, you know, but did that t-shirt actually make me look really frumpy, or like, you know, and it can just stick with you, and people don't know that it sticks with you. Or like harder subjects, sometimes people come into a chat and they go, oh no, actually I don't want to be there because I don't want to read stuff like that, and it puts other people off as well, which then stops you from meeting new people and finding new friends, finding new people who might be interested in the stuff that you're trying to put out as well. So yeah, and as a few of you have said, you left people's lives when it's got too negative, because it's difficult to watch. And we're not here to make content that's difficult to watch. Quite the opposite. We're here to give you guys content that you love, that you want to see. We're here to give you the interactions that you want from us, you know, like it's it gets a bit crazy when you end up getting all the negative stuff and finding it difficult to respond.
I mean, I don't always respond perfectly. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I've had my fair share of moments.
100%.
I've gotten very, very defensive, or I've possibly even mocked the troll that's coming or whatever. But it doesn't what's the word? It doesn't breed the energy that you want in your life space.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, a couple of days ago, you guys were there for the one where I had a fight with a troll in the morning. The thing is, I came away from it thinking, why'd I do that? No one else was interested in that. I was having the time of my life, but no one else was interested.
You were in my live a couple of days ago when someone came in, and originally wasn't the best response. Not going to lie to you, and then I flipped her, being like, "Thank you so much for your comments. You're actually boosting my live. You're increasing the engagement. Thank you. I really appreciate it." And just being nothing but kind, because as someone just said, unalive them with kindness.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yes, Tammy, exactly, 100%. No, it's the way forward sometimes, and they just don't know what to do with it. So if you ever do want to fight the trolls back, unaliving them with kindness is sometimes the best way forward, because then sometimes no one gets hurt, but the real best response is to just block them. So that's the real way forward. And it kind of does go alongside that sort of thing, is when you do receive, like, I'm not necessarily talking about negative comments, but more like either insults or, things that you tend to get on like the comment section, or, stuff that you're like, what are you talking about, kind of thing. How do you sort of deal with them? Like, is there a way that you sort of get through that process of hearing or seeing an insult and then being like, right, how do I sort of handle this?
One of the things I find quite interesting is, so often I will kind of compassionately inquire before making judgment, unless it's really obvious, unless it's really obviously nasty. I will ask for clarification, like, what did you mean by that? Because sometimes, being neurodivergent myself, which I know you understand, people will type things and they don't realize how it comes across, and it's not necessarily how they mean it. And sometimes when you
ask that trap,
they either go, "That's not what I meant by that," or they go, like, they stop and think about it twice and go, "Oh, like, crap, you're not a horrible person. Maybe I shouldn't have said that." Sometimes I might throw a light-hearted joke back at them. Try, not so much in the comments, but in live, try and kind of redirect the topic. And anything that's just blatantly unpleasant, remove it. It's not worth it, really.
Just remove it and delete. I found something the other day which I'm yet to try, but I think we should both try it and get back to each other and see what you think. Is next time you see a troll comment, like as in one of those comments that's just, it's not meant in a nice way, they may have been horrible, ask. This would work because we both have husbands, but you could do it with a best friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever you have. Ask your partner to say the troll word, the comment, in the funniest voice they can. And honestly, I saw an example of it on, I think it was on TikTok, and it's hilarious. And also can make extra content. Which we love, because we're always running out of ways to fill extra content. But yeah, so next time you get a comment, or I get a lot of fat phobic comments being a bigger girl, and I'm just gonna get Mr. Ash to I'm gonna film him saying them to me, be like a big disclaimer: this isn't Mr. Ash saying this, in like the most silliest voice, like Mickey Mouse or something. Because it takes any power they have out of it. It's like, I don't find you, and that's the big thing. The moment you give them power, that's when it starts hurting. But if you give them that sort of whatever, that's when you sort of.
I can take most things. I feel like after a certain amount of time, you do, for the most part, build like kind of like a hard outer shell to a lot of things. I guess, like, the one thing for me is when someone is coming for someone that's in my space, Like
Yeah.
that's when I struggle a bit more with that. But I've got obviously fantastic mods, which includes you, and I feel like I've got like a cartoon in mind, and they're like that's Abby ready.
She's so ready. Abby is basically for anyone who doesn't know, Abby is basically the mod for all of the can triangle.
Yeah,
She basically just mods us and PAs us and sorts us all out. She's
icon.
amazing. And sort of, in your opinion, what's the importance of having like a regular schedule to go live or to upload videos or whatever?
I think inconsistency is always going to lead to some viewership loss. But if you have a positive community and kind of some semi level of consistency, you're going to have a loyal kind of core audience and, you know, friends that you've made that are going to keep showing up anyway. And those are the people that matter the most. So I think, you know, if you're Abby's just calling me out in the chat right now. I don't need to know my schedule because I have a fantastic PA. So
It's okay, Abby. I know Nay's schedule, so it's fine.
I'm going to run away. Abby can replace me in the box. Bye. The thing is, you can have a regular schedule, but I think the quality should always come over quantity. And if you're not feeling it that day, rather than posting something that you're not happy with or going live when you're not feeling it, it's better to just give it a miss that day. You might lose some viewers from it, but it's not that important in the grand scheme.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, I think because one of the big important things that I say, so every Monday on my Discord, I upload the schedule for my lives, for Nay's lives, and for Zumira's lives, and Abby's lives now that she's going live as well. And I say in big letters at the top, it is the streamer's prerogative to be live that day. If they are not live that day, don't come for them. It's not about that. It's about, here's a sort of directive of where you can possibly find us and at what time. But if we are not great that day, if we're not feeling top tier, if we're ill or our mental health's not in the best place, then it's our prerogative to not go live that at that point. I think that's really important to keep up to as well.
I think communication is key as well. Like the handy thing about having a Discord is if I'm not feeling it that day, which I think happened earlier this week actually, just posting a little update and being like, hey guys, I'm not feeling it today, so you know, I'm gonna give it a miss and letting them know, because then they're not, you know, thrown off if they're expecting you to be live. And those audience that are going to be in your Discord server are going to be the ones that matter the most anyway.
Absolutely, 100%. I was about to say, if people stop watching you because you miss a live, then they shouldn't be your friends. Like that's not how it works. Like, I mean, if people aren't sort of chilling with you when you're able to be chilled with, then what's the point, kind of thing. We don't want anyone to ruin their mental health just to be on an app, because like I think Colin's a really good one for saying this as well, Zoomira, who he always says that, you know, real life comes first and then TikTok comes after, and I think that's true. I think that's fair, kind of thing.
Yeah, like all streamers, they're human beings at the end of the day, and I think it's easy to forget that if you're an audience member. And I've had my moments in other live streamers' lives where I've like forgotten it myself almost, and being like, no, wait a minute. Some days I'm not feeling like staying on for a super long time. That's a person on the other side of the screen.
Absolutely, and it's really hard when you're sort of deep in with the live, whether you're finding it funny or you're laughing along with them or you're making jokes. I mean, just for an example, I was on exceptionally late on Zoomira's live last night, and he was like, oh, I'm going to sleep, and I'm like, oh yeah, but this is hilarious, like, and then I'm like, no, come on, Ash. It's going to bed. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Like, geez. And you know, but it is really easy to get lost in that. Oh, this is hilarious. This is so funny. Oh, we love the vibes. And then I think that loss when it stops as well, because it's like I've had these friends around me for this time, and now they're not there, and you have that sort of. I mean, I find it when I come off people's lives, and I'm like, oh, I need something else going on now, because I can't. It's gone.
In our Discord server.
Yes. All join the Discord, and then it never ends. The party never ends. No, I'm kidding. Well, that actually goes quite well into my next one. Actually, is what sort of values and rules do you think is good to sort of set up early to make sure that things are respectful and supportive in a community? And I think one of them is very much cut off time. Is when I say it's cut off time, like. But what are your sort of values and rules to be in lives and stuff?
So curiosity over judgment being welcome. So like, questions are welcome, but if someone's being mocking, like mockery is not welcome. Learning together, because mistakes are growth opportunities, and that kind of, I guess, applies to life.
Absolutely.
Respecting privacy, not actively discouraging people stepping over a boundary. Like, you're asking people where they live and who their family members are and what their full name is. Like, that's, stepping over a boundary. So discouraging that. As I said earlier, lead by example. Kind of, it displays behavior that you'd like your friends and people in chat to display. And soft, like gentle reminders, which I think you're really good at. Like, let's keep things really positive, guys. Keep the mood up today. Just things like that, really.
I think for me, I try not to get specific, because I never want to call anyone out or make anyone feel bad, because we don't want that. I mean that as genuinely from my heart. I don't want that as a creator. I never want anyone to feel like, oh, did I do something wrong? But I do also need people to know that my boundary is here for a reason, and if you cross it, I will call you out on it. And if my boundary is not clear enough, that's one thing. But if it's that you just don't care about it, that's a whole different ballpark kind of thing. Yeah. Which is why I think the whole gentle parenting that I try to exhibit in lives is because I don't want people to feel bad. I don't want people to feel upset that they've been called out. But I do need people to know, come on, sort it out.
Here's the line, and you have to kind of make that clear. And it's not to be horrible. It's just for every single person, not just us as live streamers, is having a good time, because it's meant to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, if you come onto a live and every time you were sort of there and you were expecting to be a therapist, that's not going to make your life happy, is it? Whereas if you come onto a live,
unless you are, and you're advertising that you are.
Oh, of course. 100%. But if you come onto a live and you think, no, I'm going to be sort of upbeat, we're going to try and make it all happy and keep that sort of energy going. But that in itself, people don't realise that by itself takes an inordinate amount of energy? Words. A lot. Extortionate. Let's go with that. But it does, doesn't it? Like, you come away extortionate. Thank you, Helga. You come away from a really great upbeat live, and you might be in a happier mental place, but like, geez, you're like, need a nap.
Yeah. Especially if you do weird raves with teddies and things.
I mean, who does that? I literally dipped out for like 5 minutes earlier in your live, and I came back and you've got sunglasses on and like two teddies, like amazing. What are these vibes? I need them in my life.
Everyone bounced off of it, and the chat was bouncing. We were all having a fabulous time.
I love it. I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. The comment. Yeah, I'm finished. Kyle's String of a Sheep was fabulous. I'm not going to deny that for one singular second. Oh dear. Right, so that's my little section of kind of deep. It's kind of a bit deep. I feel like talking about live streaming is always, I find a little bit deep, because it's like, I always start with the opinion of like trying to make friends. That's where I want to go. Like, I really want to go and make friends, but there's so many minefields you do have to go alongside it, and you can't always do exactly what you want all the time, because there are things like algorithms and hashtags and yada yada yada. But honestly, it is like a minefield. But you do want to have that main thing of like, for me anyway, I like to boost my friends. I'm a real sort of big, yeah, let's go kind of thing, which is one of the reasons I started Ash Asks. But yeah, it's hard to sort of navigate that. So I do find sort of social media in itself is kind of a deep subject. So I've decided to make the last little section a little bit more frivolous. So it's not too crazy. So I was just going to start a nice easy one of this section. What are your 3 favourite animals?
3 favourite animals?
No, 3 favourite animal facts.
I was like, oh no!
You know what? What's your 3 favourite animals as well, no? That was me not reading my notes right, guys. That's just let you know. It wasn't Nay at all. Nay was very gentle parenting me going, are you sure, darling? Are you sure that's what you mean? No, it's not. I told you that this is chaotic. It's just chaotic, I promise.
So, 3 favourite animal facts.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, so one I am always sharing is that a praying mantis has 5 eyes, which I just think is a super cool fact because we're used to our 2, and an animal having 5 is barely comprehensible to us. They've got 2 compound eyes, which are the 2 big ones that you can quite obviously see on a mantis. They show detail, shape, depth, movement. They have these ones on the top, which are called ocelli, which are for light detection, kind of quick reflex cues, and flight stability for ones that fly. And they sway as well, which aids in their depth perception and their kind of perception of the environment around them, which is pretty cool. I guess that was a few facts about that. That's only
it's brilliant.
Another one, despite popular belief, chameleons do not change their colour to camouflage with their environment. It is a myth.
Do they not? I didn't even know that. And Pat the chameleon's one of my favourites.
Let's go. They actually change colour. I've done a video on this as well, but they change colour because of mood changes to establish territory and a display of like aggression, and to attract the mate. They may also change colour based on temperature, so they may darken their colour to absorb more heat if it's colder. But yeah, any reason pretty much other than camouflage.
That's really interesting. Do they ever do it for that as well, or
no, not for camouflage?
Never ever do it.
No,
did someone just make that up? Did they just go, this will be funny?
My final fact I've had to say for this, my favourite animal, which kind of ties over to the next question a little bit, but when a mantis shrimp throws a punch, its club, which is like its arms, moves so fast it creates a cavitation bubble in the water, and then when that bubble collapses, it releases a shockwave and a flash of flash. And for a split second, it is almost as hot as the surface of the sun, strong enough to stun or unalive prey, even if that punch doesn't directly make contact.
That's wild to me. I mean, I heard it earlier today and was literally just like, the sun?
Did I say this earlier? Because I do. These are my favourite facts.
I'm not complaining in the slightest. I was just like, the sun? So the face you just saw me pull them, I was imitating the face I was pulling earlier. But I'm still shocked by it. That's an animal, and especially because that's not a very big animal either, is it?
No.
Can make that hotter reaction. That is just wild to me.
They're just so fast. It varies depending on the type of mantis shrimp, because some are more punchy and club-like, and others are more like.
That's, guys, if you didn't know, that's what they look like in real life.
Scientific demonstration and explanation of the differences between species, actually.
So, I think I know what you're going to say, but what's your favourite animal?
I wonder. It's a peacock mantis shrimp, which actually, do you know what? I've got it here from earlier.
There you go, guys.
They're amazing. This is a fabulous teddy, but it's not quite as marvelous as what they actually look
No,
like.
I've seen pictures of them. They are gorgeous.
They have mantis-like features, and praying mantises are my second favorite animal. They're beautiful. They are rainbow. The way they move is like a little rainbow mermaid, which so here for. My inner child was like, yes. I also find them relatable because they can be really shy, but push come to shove, they can definitely make their mark. Their power and speed for being such a small animal, as I just explained, is pretty incredible. And they have the most complex visual system in the animal kingdom, which I said you a little thing about yesterday from the book I was reading, which I won't repeat here.
Well, I mean, it's probably best not to, but it was funny.
I think they're fascinating because you can't possibly comprehend the inwelt of a mantis shrimp. So different to humans, and that's incredible to me.
No, I think that's brilliant. I think it's an animal that I didn't know existed until I met you, and I love that. I love it when you do that. I love it when you do that. It's when you're in Nay's live and you've not heard of an animal that she has now introduced to you. Please tell her, because it will make her entire life. She's like, yay, I've introduced someone something. But yeah, no, it gorgeous animal, and ever since I've heard about them, they keep coming up on my FYP, and I keep seeing more of them, and I just love them. I think they're brilliant. So kind of along those lines, what is the weirdest animal you've ever heard of?
Ask me on different days, and you'll get different answers. But brittle stars was the one I thought of for today. They are so bizarre. They kind of look like starfish. They can lose all of their limbs, and as long as that central disc is intact, they can regenerate themselves completely, which is insane.
That is insane, yeah. That is so crazy.
Yeah, I just think they're super cool dudes. They also kind of look like something that you'd see in Stranger Things, so that just makes them even weirder.
I love that so much. And sort of my last question, before I sort of do the last little bit, is if you could be any animal in the entire world, what animal would you be? You can also guess in chat what animal you think Nay should be. I thought you might have said that.
I'm sorry, I'm like a broken record, but I love peacock mantis shrimp so much.
No, it's allowed. It's 100% allowed.
They are beautiful. They are powerful. They are both fragile and incredibly strong. Their visual system, as I said, being so complex and so unique. I don't know what's not to love about them. To be able to experience and understand that as well. Just
I was quite shocked though, because I feel like what has been left behind in your lives is the leafy, sheepy slug that I can't remember the proper name for.
Slug.
I thought you might have been him.
Which is so cool.
They're so cute though.
They are so cute. They're like little lambs.
They are so adorable. So my last little bit before we ask you guys, get you guys to ask Nay a few questions. Again, if Nay doesn't feel comfortable answering a question, she has the right to say, "Don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel comfortable asking that. Don't ask her where she lives." Any of that crazy stuff. I just want to ask. So what I'm going to do is I have an animal written down. It is an animal that I have heard of, so the likelihood is that you've heard of it. I hope. And if you haven't, it's not the end of the world. But in fairness, no, if you haven't, it's probably for the best, because then I get to teach you one, right?
You can learn something.
And that's great. I can tell you now it's not. But so I'm going to describe an animal, and you have to tell me if you know the name of it. And I'm only going to do one. I'm not going to do like 400 like you do on your quizzes, because I think you might be like, oh, for goodness sake, Ash. So this animal has long fingers.
Oh,
and
I just So
This is one of the biggest animal advocates I know, right?
I'm trying to think of an animal with fingers. Right?
It has orange eyes and is a primate. It has rodent-like teeth, and it catches larvae and grubs from the I'm trying to find the exact word. Tree trunks. Sorry, I couldn't find the word. It is the largest nocturnal primate, and it has giant ears and is part of the lemur species.
Oh no. Well, this is terrible for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, primates are like one of my biggest blind spots. Specifically,
I know.
This is TikTok. This is your fault because I can't talk about them because
that's true.
They get
that's
filtered.
True. Many of them she can't say on her lives, guys.
Yeah. And second of all, my answer was going to be, is it some sort of lemur or tarsier? And then you said it's some sort of lemur, and I've gone.
Well, I mean, you were right then. So that's it, right? You're right.
But what species?
Do you want to know how many letters it's in? How many letters it's got?
No. It's
no.
Not
Okay.
I'm absolutely stumped.
Okay. Can anyone guess in the chat? I think did Abby or Tammy say? Abby said that she thinks she knows. Yes, Abby, you're right.
Oh,
and Kane, you're right.
It popped into my head as well, and I was like, no.
For anyone who wants to know what they look like.
Oh, I'm so. If Flynn were here, Flynn would be telling me off.
But you were right. It is a lemur. So
yeah,
you know.
And I even thought aye, and then I thought no.
See what? So one of the things that Nay says in her lives is that you should trust your gut.
Yep.
She didn't trust her gut, did she?
No, I didn't. No. Embarrassing.
Oh dear, that is not embarrassing because that's what we all feel in your lives as well. Originally, when I first started getting them wrong, I was like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed that I didn't know that animal," and now I'm like, "No, actually, I've now learnt about that animal, and like, I didn't know anything about the panther chameleon. It's now one of my favorite animals. Like, you know, it's exactly how we sort of felt." I don't know about. I can't speak for everyone, but when I certainly felt at the beginning of coming into your lives, like, oh. She knows so much about animals and I know nothing, and like now I've guessed the wrong animal, and oh, it's so embarrassing. But the thing is, it's not, because each day is a learning day, and now you didn't learn more about eyes because you already knew about them, but you've been reminded.
When I started doing like the quizzes, when I first started, it was quizzes every single day, and that was all I did. I knew some insects. I knew a lot of reptiles. I did not know really much animals outside of that. I have learned as I've kept going, because people in the chat are always new things. I learn more. I always say, like, I learn more from you guys than you are learning from me. Trust me. Yeah, I've just kind of gained more knowledge as I've kept going. But
that's exactly why we do these things, though, isn't it? It's about learning more. And I feel like if you're not sort of trying to learn more about things, especially things that you might be scared of or not know a whole lot about, if you're not consistently trying to learn more things about it, then you end up being a bit stagnant. So, I mean, it was a bit mean doing that question at the end. I did, however, warn her at the end that I was going to do that. By the way, guys, I didn't just completely surprise her out of the blue with that one.
It's because I learned through kind of those lives. Primates are kind of a blind spot for me because TikTok is rude and doesn't like to talk about a bunch of animals, most primates included.
It's very true. It is very true. And I may have been really mean and known that. So it's not Nay's fault, guys. It's my fault. Anyway, so just as the last kind of section, if anyone has any questions to ask Nay about inverts or not primates, don't ask her about primates.
Please, I beg you.
Or streaming or anything really, What's your least favourite animal? That's a good one from Jamie.
My least favorite
It's a
animal,
hard one though, isn't it? Because it's like,
mosquitoes.
that's fair enough. I don't think anyone likes mosquitoes. Casper says, when is Kyle buying you a sheep?
Wow, he drew me one, so I guess we'll just have to settle that. I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure a sheep would fit into our studio flat.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. Kane asks, what's your favourite mammal?
Favorite mammal? Favorite mammal? Capybara.
Yes. I think I would say, are they a mammal? Are otters a mammal?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like otters. I mean, I there's lots of other ones, but I mainly like them because Mr. Ash likes them. Not gonna lie, but they are pretty cute. Do what? I'm sorry, Jamie. I didn't quite understand that. What's the one fact that you've learned about bunnies from Abby?
That their diet should consist of 85% hay. It's a really crucial part of their diet. Also, they don't have toe beans. I thought they had toe beans. I was so
I think everyone thought that. I mean, I'm sorry, but what do they have? Just
fluff.
Just fluff.
Yeah.
No, like I was about to say no skin, but like they always have skin.
Underneath
but like, I need to see this. I need to. Abby, when's the video coming out? I need to watch this.
Like that was on here.
I'm sure it would. Tammy asks a silly question. When are we going autumn decor shopping?
When you come here and give Pippi the best cuddles.
Well, there you go. That's answered. Where Phoebe asks, what is your favourite food brand for animals?
Ooh. There's only one. Oh, it depends on. Ooh.
It depends on the animal, doesn't it? Really, like
it depends on the animal. For my gecko, big fan of Arcadia and Haverstrass food lines. They are so well nutritionally balanced, and they think about things that you wouldn't expect in your average diet, like bee pollen being a cool ingredient. In the wild, crested geckos will consume pollen from flowers and things. If you want to talk a little bit outside of my content, I'm a big fan of Canagan as a dog cat food brand. Apologies to when this goes up on YouTube and your comments are full of really strong dog food fanatics and they get mad about it. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
But yeah, a lot of the animals I have consume bugs and they're not necessarily branded.
That's true. That is true. Hellcat asked, as Halloween is coming up, are you planning any bat-themed content?
I haven't been planning it, but I definitely could do. I don't think anything's going to be a bat video I've already done before. I went on this really cool bat walk where we had like these bat audio things that made their sounds audible to us. And I filmed bats flying literally right in front of our faces. Don't know that I can beat that, but I know that certainly someone would be a huge fan of me doing more bat content, so I definitely can.
I would also. I love bats. I think bats are awesome. Jess asks, when did your love for animals start?
Ooh, when I was really young, I've lived and breathed animals basically my entire life. My mum's a huge animal lover. She's kept a bunch of animals. My dad kept tropical fish and reptiles. I also, growing up, my mum had a farm with lots of farm animals. So I've just kind of loved animals for the longest time. And I had to just be a little bit different and fall in love the most with the animals that no one in my family loves, which are insects and arachnids.
Hey, it's always good to be different. Phoebe asks, bit random, but when would you say you'd put your Christmas tree up?
after my birthday, which is at the end of November.
I think that's sensible. Uh, I think I know the answer to this, but I can't remember exactly. I'm sure there's. Anyway, I'll ask you because you would know better. Mr. Ash asks, "Is there an animal that Kyle would have that you wouldn't?"
Not that I wouldn't.
No, I think I know the one that you would, but you haven't.
Dart frogs is one of them. Kyle loves dart frogs. I think dart frogs are incredible. I like mid chunky slow frogs, to be honest. But he loves dart frogs, and that's something that we're potentially planning on getting in the future. Another one being parrots. I guess actually there is one that I wouldn't have. Kyle loves cockatoos, and I will absolutely. I mean, I can't completely put my foot down because I've got a little miniature zoo here, and he didn't ask for that. But I would strongly advise that we don't get a cockatoo because
they're very loud.
They're very loud. They are a lot of commitment and work, and Kyle's at work all the time, and that means that would fall on me. And I do not want to care for a cockatoo.
No, I mean, I as you know, I'm a big like birds of prey fan. I love all types of birds. Specifically at the moment corvids because that's where my fixation is. But I wouldn't get a cockatoo at all. Ever.
They're beautiful. I think they're awesome. And in a pet shop or something, or at someone else's house that has one,
and you can give them back.
Yeah. But that screeching in my ear, that 24/7. No, thank you.
No, I'm not here for that either. Connor's Critters said, "What is your favourite bird species?"
My favourite bird species. Oh, I have a few. Can I give a few?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Snowy owls, big one for me. They're gorgeous.
Gorgeous animals.
Their like maternal parental behavior, I think, is really incredible to see. Another one, lilac-breasted rollers, because they're just beautiful. I could keep going. I'll give you one more. The kakapo, the large flightless bird that doesn't know how to reproduce very well.
I need to see what this looks like. I don't.
They're
sorry,
so
guys.
Cute, Ash. They're so cute.
Oh yes, I do know what that one is. Yeah. Kind of looks like a weird moldy bogey.
That's mean. I want to say they're from New Zealand, but I could be completely wrong. I'm going to have a little quick.
Sometimes known as the owl parrot or owl-faced parrot, is a species of large nocturnal ground-dwelling parrots that of the superfamily Strigopidia. Yes, New Zealand's endemic.
Let's go.
New Zealand's endemic and endangered kakapo. There you go. Yes, you're right. Yes, no, I love them. I think they look fabulous. They do look like a mouldy bogey, but some people find that cute. Boo, Ash is wrong. Casper asks, what's your favourite type of spider?
My favourite type of spider? I like Brazilian black tarantulas. I now have the privilege of owning one.
Yes.
Truffle, obsessed. Salsa, you heard nothing.
We won't tell Salsa, it's fine.
I love Pikachu spiders, and because adorable.
So cute.
Also known as 8-spotted crab spider. And to be honest, I just love crab spiders and in general. Oh my god, I forgot bean velvet spiders. They're so underrated.
Oh, yes.
Like, I feel like they have the potential to be as popular as jumping spiders, but like they're as cute as jumping spiders, as gentle as jumping spiders in these. And they don't jump at you. So like, why are they not more popular?
I mean, that's the bonus there, really, isn't it? And I think I know the answer to this one, but I will again let you answer because I'm not going to let my ADHD take over. Too much, anyway. Hellcat asks, are you scared of any animals?
I am indeed scared of a few animals. I am quite phobic of horses. I don't know why, they're massive, man. They're massive.
They're so big.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty scared of a whale if I had to come face to face with one because they're huge. I think just giant animals scare me, hence tiny mantises and things. Wasps and bees are a massive one for me. I'm really working on it. I actually recently helped a bee that was in the middle of the road, picked it up, huge thing for me. Terrified of them. Was sweating buckets and panicking big time styly. But we're working on it. What helps is knowing how beneficial they are to the environment. Catty's upset. Sorry, Catty. I know you love your big boys.
No, yeah, I think very similarly. As you've been experiencing your Discord, I keep posting butterflies and moths in there. And for me, very recently, I was terrified of them. And I've started capturing them and looking at them and seeing how beautiful they are. And that for me has been a really big part of getting over my fear of them. And the other day I saw a video of a bee and a man looking after a bee, and I was like, Nay, I know you don't like them, but this is really cute.
So cute.
And it was a cute video. Again, there was some ethical questions, but it was a cute video.
As well.
Phoebe says, silly question, but do you prefer pizza or pasta?
That's mean. In a pinch, pizza, but in general, pasta.
It's a good answer.
Versatile.
It's a good answer. Tammy says, out of all of the animals that you own, which animal would you choose to become? It's a loaded question, that is.
Fig. He's living technically she, but Fig is living a lavish life. Fig gets to, every day, wakes up, gets a little shower, gets absolutely swooned over because I love him. It just gets to sit and nap all the time and bask under his wonderful simulated sun. And I take pictures of him all the time because he's so well adored and has many fans. And he just gets to sit and eat and sleep. And that sounds...
What a life, eh? What a life. Something I found out from Nay relatively recently is that you should limit as much contact as you possibly can do with frogs, because they absorb everything through their skin, or I don't know if it's everything, but a lot of things through their skin. Yeah. So that's something, the fact that I found out, that was lovely Nay taught me. So it's
so fragile, so you don't want to be picking them up too much because they're just squidgy little dudes, tiny little bones.
Absolutely. What is your favorite type of leopard and your least favorite type of leopard?
My favorite I can give, my least favorite I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure it's my strongest suit, to be honest. My favorite is probably the clouded leopard.
I agree on that one. The clouded is definitely gorgeous. Hellcat asked me a question, which was, if I didn't know corvids, do I know Ragnar? And yes, I do know Ragnar. Phoebe asks, what's your favourite sport? And can any of your animals do sports?
My favourite sport. Recently I've been really into swimming. Technically Pip can swim. Does she want to? Absolutely not.
I just imagine her
she's got a little life jacket with a shark fin on it, and we take her swimming in the summer when it's cool enough for her. It's very cute. It's not her favourite thing, but what is very cute is when you pick her up and lower her into the water. She starts paddling the thing anywhere near the water and just paddles in the air, and it's so cute.
That's adorable.
And then she's swim to you, get me out.
You said swimming life jacket, and I was like, oh, and then you said with a shark on it. I was like, shark fin! Oh my god!
There's videos of it on my page, Tammy.
Oh my god, I need that. What's your favourite breeds of dog?
Favourite breed of dog? Italian Greyhounds are a big one. Love Italian Greyhounds. Love a Whippet. Love just that kind of area of dogs. Big fan. And Chihuahuas, you've bred in a way that they're not really unhealthy and unable to breathe, and their eyes are
Zoomira
heads. And yes. Zoomira is an ethical breeder of Chihuahua. I also am a sucker for a Staffy and a bit of a dog,
yes.
The chunky boy.
Yeah, I love it. Your favourite reptile?
That's rude. Who asked that?
Guess.
Was it Abby?
Yes.
That is rude, and you know it, Abby.
We don't answer that.
No, I could. I'm not going to. I'm not going to answer it because I could be here forever. I'd be listing far too many.
If that is a comment you feel uncomfortable answering,
No, but it would go into tomorrow. I'd keep listing them. I look far too many reptiles to
like,
answer that.
this is a long episode of Ash Asks.
If you want to do another 6 parts with me, sure. But
Mr. Ash asks, if you could talk to the animals you have, what would you ask them, and what would you think that they would ask?
ooh, I would ask them what they need. Is there anything else they need? Are they happy? What else can I do for them?
Yeah, I love that.
Do
That's
you
so
like
wholesome.
plant in your enclosure? Do you like that, or do you not like that plant? Do you keep Zora? Do you keep pooping on that plant because it's your favourite? Or do you keep pooping on it because you hate it?
Oh my god, I love that. That's so wholesome though. Do you have a favourite species of bat?
I really like the common pipistrelle. I'm not gonna lie. We've got them really close to my house. I've seen them in person, and I feel like it's a really easy way to end up with advice or something. Seeing an animal in person is going to make you love them more. Outside
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
the ponder and whites, they're very cute.
I watched a really educational video today on a bat. I think it's the vampire bat that drinks the blood. I'm guessing it is. And I watched a really educational video today about one, so that was really interesting. That's as far as it goes. It was how it obtains its blood from the chicken, but it was a chicken that it did it from, without the chicken knowing, and the fact that its saliva had the blood clot stuff on it, so it stops the chicken from like bleeding out or whatever and stuff like that. I just thought that was so interesting.
Send it to me. I want to see this.
If I can find it again, I will send it to you. It was really interesting. Everyone was saying that they need. I think Tammy said that we definitely need a picture of Pip with a fin on her head or back, as it is probably not on her head. Hellcat asked, bearded dragon or blue tongue skink. Oh no, that was her favourites, I think. Sorry, me and Nay have beef over bearded dragons.
I love bearded dragons, by the way. They're just not.
She loves bearded dragons, just not as much as I love bearded dragons, and she was asking for my opinion to rate them. So, you know, I only have beef with you because it's funny.
Said blue tongue skinks are better.
That's right. You can go off people, you know. No, I'm kidding.
Rude.
I'm kidding. Oh dear. Anyway. Thank you so much for your questions today, guys. That was awesome. We love a little bit of chaotic questions. If you really genuinely have to know the entire list of Nay's favourite reptiles, then next time pop in her live and go, what's your list of favourite reptiles? And she'll tell you. And she'll be on live for about 45 years because she won't be able to stop talking about them. We're always in a chaotic mood here. Just to end off the live today, can you tell everybody who may or may not know you where can you be found on, like, what socials you can be found, and what your sort of username and stuff is in those places?
Okay, so something I did right. Really simple. Pipandfrens. The only bit that's not simple is it's not friends. It's Frens. Pipandfrens. And you can find me on Instagram. I've got my own personal page, as well as the Educate Don't Break page that I run with the team. You can find me on YouTube under Pipandfrens. You can find me here on TikTok under Pipandfrens. And you can find me in my Discord server. And if you want that, this is quite funny. Ask Ash.
Ask me if you want to get into Nay's Discord server because you love animals and you love what you've seen today. Please drop me a message or drop me a message and ask her to pop in her Discord. Everyone is welcome there as long as you love animals and are respectful. Basically, that's all you got to do. And you know what? You don't even have to know anything about animals. You just have to like them. That's all. That's all we ask, is that you like animals. That's all we ask. But thank you very much for coming on the third episode, I can't speak, of Ash Asks today. If you missed any part of today, Or if you didn't manage to make it from the beginning, we will try and get it up onto YouTube so you can watch the whole thing if you want to. Have our dulcet tones in the background chatting away. And otherwise, when are you next live, Nay?
Possibly on Sunday for a bonus one, but if not, Monday for a just chatting live. And also we have a really cool battle on Tuesday on here.
Yes, you do.
With the lovely Alex Lee.
Nice. I shall be there. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Thank you very much for coming in and answering all my crazy questions, Nay. And I shall see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.